Hi, in this video tutorial, I'm going to show how to use Python, R, Julia, and Octave in Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook helps us to create and share documents that contain narration, live code, and also code output. It is an ideal tool for data cleaning and transformation, data pre-processing, numerical simulation, statistical modeling, machine learning, and so on. If you are a graduate student who works with data, or an analytics professional, researcher, or university professor who teaches modeling, simulation, analytics, and machine learning, Jupyter Notebook can be very helpful for you. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show how to install Jupyter Notebook and also how to add R, Julia, and Octave to the Jupyter Notebook, and also I am going to show how we can change kernels on the same, how we can change programming languages on the same notebook and do our analytics. Okay, so first we are going to download and install Anaconda. Anaconda comes with both Python and also Jupyter Notebook. Python is a prerequisite for Jupyter, and if we install Anaconda, then we have both Python and Jupyter Notebook. So let me go to Anaconda and download it. So I have Windows machine, and here, as you can see, we have for Python 3.6 and Python 2.7. You can download either of them, both Jupyter Notebook and the other programming languages like R, Octave, and Julia that we are going to add into the Jupyter Notebook work fine with either Python versions. So you can select either of them and install the appropriate one for your machine. So let me go ahead and download this one. Actually, I have downloaded it, as you can see here. So now I'm going to go ahead and install it. Okay, so I have it here. Simply double click it, and it will soon start the installation process. Okay, next. I agree. Just me is recommended, so I will just click next. Installed. So the installation may take some time, and I will get back after the installation completes. Okay, so now the installation of Anaconda is complete. Next. So finish, and we can go ahead and see if it has been installed. So I have it here installed, and this is the Anaconda command prompt. So I can start Jupyter Notebook now by simply typing Jupyter Notebook, and now the Jupyter Notebook will have Python. It supports, at this point in time, it supports only Python. You see here, new, we have only Python 3, and we want to add other programming languages including R, Julia, and Octave. Now if I want to write any Python code, I simply click this and start a new notebook. So let's get back and add R now. So I will exit from here. If you simply click Ctrl C 2 times, it shuts down the Jupyter Notebook. And to add R to Anaconda, let's search for Anaconda R and Jupyter for Conda. So we have it here, Jupyter and Conda for R. And what we need here is this one, Conda install CRR essentials. So I will copy this and paste it in the Anaconda command prompt. Basically, this will install many R packages and it will take time. So let's see if it starts normally, and then I will get back once the installation completes. Yeah, so here, do you want to proceed? It asks me yes. Now it has started the installation process. As you can see, it is trying to install. It is a different R environment. It is not using the standalone R environment I have in my machine. So it is installing many packages. As you can see here, you see Knitr. I have Knitr here, Shiny, readr, Reshape2, XML2, Zoo, and so on. So it will install all these R packages, and once it completes installation of R, then when we open Jupyter Notebook, in our Jupyter Notebook we will have both Python and R, and in the same Jupyter Notebook we can switch from R to Python and take advantage of the strengths of each tool. Like we can integrate them for our analytics, and yeah, we can also export the analysis either in PDF or HTML or other formats. We don't need even to save different plots and migrate them to import them to PowerPoint. We can prepare a presentation, a full presentation in the notebook. And if you are like doing a research or writing a journal paper, you can also just complete it in your notebook. Especially if you are a master's or a PhD student, a Jupyter Notebook is very ideal because it helps you to integrate both your code output, and also your narration, so you know what you have done. When you come back after some time, it doesn't take you much time to understand what you have been doing, and also you can edit it easily, and also you can keep track of the changes you have made. And finally, once you complete all your work, you can export it, and then you will have you can have a full master's thesis or PhD thesis that you did in your notebook environment. So it is very handy, very nice. Like it helps you to optimize your time, to make efficient use of your time and resources. And yeah, so once this R installation completes, I will get back. Okay, so now as you can see, we have all necessary R packages installed. So R installation is complete, and we can open Jupyter Notebook and check if R has been added. So here simply type Jupyter Notebook. So before we added R on this session, we had only Python. We had only option to open Python Notebook. Now we should also have an option to open R Notebook. Let's go to New. You see we have R also added. So if I click here, it opens an R session, and you see a logo for R here. Whereas if I open Python, the logo here is Python logo. And also actually on the same session, on the same notebook, we can switch from R to Python and from Python to R. We will see an example at the end once we add Octave and Julia. So now let us kill this Jupyter Notebook. Let's stop it and install Julia. Control C. So kernel shut down. Now I have shut it down, so I will go ahead and install Julia to my machine. Okay, so Julia installation, Julia downloads. You can download and install the appropriate version for your machine. So I'm going to download this one for Windows 64-bit for Windows. Download it, and it seems it will take like less than a minute. So I will wait until it completes the download. Okay, so it seems it will take some time. I will get back when the download is complete. Okay, so now Julia download is complete, and let's go ahead and install Julia. Next, it is extracting. I hope it is installing. Yep, here it comes. So I have it here. Okay, it doesn't take much time. So we have installed the Julia, and let's open the command prompt for Julia. Is it here in my installation? Julia. Okay, so I have it here, and Julia is successfully installed. But to use Julia in Jupyter Notebook, we need to install a kernel, a Julia kernel for Jupyter. So Julia kernel for Jupyter, I think it is called iJulia. Okay, so we have iJulia here, and to install iJulia we simply need this pkg add iJulia. So let's go ahead and paste it here. So now it is adding the kernel for Jupyter Notebook. So I'm not sure how long this will take. Probably I should stop my recording now and get back when the installation is complete. Okay, so now iJulia is installed, but it says it could be out of date, and it asks me to update it. So let's go ahead and update it. pkg.update. So now it is updating the metadata. So now since we have installed Julia and added the Julia kernel for the Jupyter, which is iJulia, when we open Jupyter Notebook now, we should be able to see Python, R, and also Julia. Let's see how long this will take to update. Okay, updating metadata. Okay, so this may take some time, so I will stop my recording now and get back when the update is complete. Okay, so now the iJulia update is complete here. So let's go ahead and open Jupyter Notebook and see if Julia has been added. So we see here some changes. I think because of the update it has installed Python 2 as well, so it has changed it to Python 2. As you can see here, initially we installed Python 3, but during the update in Julia it installed Python 2. There is a way to change it to Python 3, but that's okay for now. Let's go with that. So we have Julia, Python 2 and R. So if I open R, let me make sure the R kernel is working. So it is working. I have the R logo here. If it is not working, like it says kernel dead, so I have Python here. Then let's make sure Julia also works. I have okay, the Julia kernel also works. So we have all of them working. Now we are left with Octave. Octave is almost MATLAB compatible. It is an open source. If you have MATLAB in your machine, if you have MATLAB license, you can also add MATLAB kernel. By the way, Jupyter Notebook supports up to 40 languages. The Jupyter Notebook, let's visit their website. So here it says Jupyter supports 40 programming languages, including those popular in data science such as Python, R, Julia, and Scala. So it is a very cool tool. Okay, so now let's go ahead and download Octave. Octave download. So I will go here and download for Windows. Where is it? Windows and okay, download for Windows binaries with corresponding can be downloaded from here. Okay, so let's pick one from here, like Octave 4.0.1 installer. So let me download this. I don't know how long it will take. Like it seems it will take a couple of minutes. So I will wait until it completes the download and I will get back. Okay, so finally what we have to do is I have downloaded Octave and also I installed it. So you can go ahead and install Octave by simply clicking here and just accepting the default settings. Then after installing Octave, what we need to add is Octave kernel for Jupyter. Octave for Jupyter. Let's search it. So it is this one. First, let's open the. You have to open the Anaconda command prompt. Is here. Then once you open this, you can install the Octave kernel by simply copy pasting these two commands. I did that and everything seems to be working fine. So now I can open Jupyter Notebook and show you all the tools that I have added, all the programming languages that I have added. Jupyter Notebook. So as you can see here, I have Julia, I have Octave, Python, and R. So I can open a new notebook and use either of the languages or a combination of them. So just to demonstrate, let's open a notebook, a new notebook. Let's say Python notebook, and let's call it a test. And the good thing with the notebook is we can include both text and code. So here I can include text by changing this to markdown, and I can say this is Python. Then I can enter any code. So what I can do is okay, so I have Python code here. I'm importing matplotlib. So just creating hard. So I have this code. then I can display the plot. This is my Python plot, so Python hard with Python. And if I want to change it to another language on the same Jupyter notebook, I can just go here and change the kernel. For example, if I want to make it R, I change this to R, and this logo changes from Python to R. So now I am using R, and let me change this to Markdown, and I have this R. Then I can bring R code. So here I put, so I can, in each cell we execute a code chunk, and we can run the code chunk in this cell by pressing this one, run cell. So if I do this, it executes this code chunk and it gives me the output, as you can see. Now let's change, for example, to Julia. If I want to use Julia, I will just put here Julia. By the way, you can get more help about the shortcuts from here. So notebook, we have here keyboard shortcuts, and also tutorial on how to use the Jupyter notebook. So here I am using Julia, and I have some code to produce a heart here. So again, I execute this code chunk, and it should it should plot a heart. Probably it may take some time. Okay, so this is Heart with Julia. So what I'm doing is to, if you want to put a new cell below this, for example, you go here, cell, and we have insert cell below or cell above. If I press this cell below, it opens a new cell here. So let's add octave here. Octave. I have to change this to Markdown because it is not code. Then I bring I have octave code here that generates a heart with octave. So this is it. Power not defined. Oh yeah, I have to change it to the kernel. I have to go here and change this to octave because Julia doesn't know octave syntax. So it is octave syntax will be a wrong syntax for Julia. So I have to change to the appropriate kernel. So now I have changed it from Julia to octave. So if I run this, here I have a heart with octave or with MATLAB. It is more or less the same. And I can include some explanation here, like text or some markdown. So what I can do is I have some text that I wrote here. So this is my title. I go here and insert cell above. So if I press this, it inserts a cell above this, and then I have to change this to Markdown. So this will be like my title. Then I can insert any text I want, any explanations, any narration. So this is my narration. I'm putting it here. I have to change the text. I have to make it Markdown. So I have this kind of title, some narration. Then I am showing with each language how I can generate a heart with Python, with R, with Julia, and with Octave. So the advantage of the Jupyter Notebook is you can use one language throughout, or you can integrate different languages if there are good kind of libraries in another language. So you can integrate different libraries from a couple of languages for your work, and you can export this either as HTML or as PDF. For example, I can go here, file, download as PDF. So if I download it as PDF, it gives me a full document that contains the text and the code and also the code output. So as you can see here, I have the Python code here. First the narration with the title and the Python code with the output, then R code with output, then Julia code with output, and Octave code with output. So especially if you have some presentation, or if you are teaching students and if you want to show them the code, how you are doing it with code output, or if you are preparing your master's or PhD thesis or any kind of research or academic paper or a manuscript to submit to our journals, Jupyter is really an ideal tool for such kind of applications. We can also export it as HTML. So I can go here and similarly I can export it as HTML. So in my HTML I can also include interactive visualizations, interactive plots. So it gives me a single HTML. This HTML is, if I go to, it is this one. So single HTML I have. So as you can see, I have this single HTML. I can share it. I can share it on my blog, on any website, or on GitHub, or you can send it by email, or you can use it for any presentations, group discussions, or also to teach students. So yeah, Jupyter Notebook has really very wide applications, and the good thing is if you some other time you can come and you can document what you are doing very clearly, and it doesn't take you much time to understand what you have done. Also you can make changes and document the kind of changes you are doing and build on it from time to time. So yeah, this is it. As I said, Jupyter supports many languages. You can visit their website, Jupyter Notebook. So you can visit their website to learn more.